Hi, dear friends. Good morning. Welcome back to Aksharadari. I'm Devaraj. I hope you guys are enjoying your life, and I hope you guys are learning great and earning great. So today is 22nd November 2023. So before going to start today newspaper reading, I would request you guys to please subscribe the channel, like and comment. If you like the video, please share with your friends. It may be useful for somebody to utilize the opportunity from the Aksharadari hand team. So and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So I'm lacking a like in the subscribers to reach the target. So let's start reading the newspaper, The Hindu, which is very important for the competitive exams. I'm sure if you start reading this in the newspaper, you'll crack the competitive exams also, and also you can develop your communication very soon. So let's start reading the newspaper. Yes, guys, this is the front page of the Hindu newspaper. Let's read what's in the front page. AP moves top court against Naidu's bill bail. We must hear the farmer's side to SSC. Park court rules against trial of Imran Khan. How the BJP Jagannath chugs along. Lack of an ideological alternative is a factor. Qatar is past a lackluster India. Five first issues of 41 persons trapped in tunnel emerge. Rescue team identify the workers using an endoscopic camera centered in through the 6-inch pipe which was drilled through the debris. A gentle drilling to create a safe passage resumes. Netanyahu Hamas chief hint at a deal on Gaza truce. Department of Health and Family Welfare. CMR University celebrates Founders Day. Four separate investigations will be taken up in O farm electrocution case, George. Findings will help in preventing such accidents and initiating action against those responsible. Peak demand in summer likely to touch 18,000 megawatt. A rural immersion program organized for MBA student. KIOCL observes Vigilance Awareness Week. Minister sets a deadline to remove unruly cables in CBD. Substance use disorders demands workshop for nursing personnel from Namma clinics. Valuables worth 70 lakh recovered. Police launch portal to gather details of guests to streamline PG accommodations. A tribute to the founders, IIM Mumbai. Organizers say Brij Bhushan will not attend Kambala. The MP from Uttar Pradesh has been accused of sexual assault by women less. By Bitcoin scam, SAT2 shows high hand tool to track trial up transactions. Passengers penalized. Health Department steps up work on developing action plan for a common answer booklet proposed for classes 10th and class 12th. Demand for functional skills in the technology sector as high as ever. Yes, some job notifications are there. If you would like to apply. You guys can apply. There are like jobs in the IIM Mumbai, and also HLL Life K Limited, and also in SBI clerical basic officers 5447 post, and KMRL invites application Kochi Metro Rail Corporation Rail Limited. Then Power Grid, then right place for the right people. VIT Residential Co-Education School. Sri Sathya Sai Medical College and Research Institute. Yediyurappa to attend election rally in Telangana. Surrogacy using donor gametes cannot be prohibited as a condition in consent form. High Court allows 12 couples to have child through surrogacy using a donor female gametes if they fulfill other medical conditions as per law. IT searches conducted on industrialist in Bangalore. Conduct of Chitradurga Special Court Judge in Murgamachir case amounts to contempt. Legislatures will be appointed to boards. Corporations in first phase, says Sujewala. DK's rubbishes phone film screening allegation. Poster politics can lead to skirmishes. A case for urban farming in the city. Many Bangaloreans are discovering the value of urban agriculture, taking pleasure in getting their hands dirty for better access to more nutritious food and reducing environmental impact. The city's agro-climate zone, cosmopolitanism, and sprawl have also played a role in driving the movement. Sixth edition of IKFF presented by School Cinema. IITB to host a geoscience and a remote sensing symposium. The conference is aimed at providing a platform for sharing knowledge and experience on recent developments and advancements in geoscience and remote sensing technologies. Stroll into the Puddy's playground. The upcoming Food and Nerd Festival in Bengaluru promises an exciting lineup of chips, brand exports, and more. The festival is a space where knowledge sharing happens organically, and plans for collaborations and future projects can be forged. When chocolatiers kitchens beckon behind pub grub. Shankar Netralaya founder Badrinath passes away at 83. Fraught political atmosphere marks on Nava Kerala Sadas. AP moves top court against Naidu's bail. Photojournalist of the Hindu attacked. Let's read this editorial page. How the BJP juggernaut chugs along. Unlike the first spell of the National Democratic Alliance, the Modi led Bharatiya Janata Party has consciously anchored itself to a deeper foundation of political legitimacy. Behind the prosaic imperatives of holding on to political power, over the last decade, the wider political culture of the country has undergone a thorough process of making and unmaking. The political scholar and activist Yogendra Yadav had provocatively captured this palpable phenomenon as the unveiling of the Second Indian Republic. There are, of course, scholarly disputes about the nature and extent of such stated political transformation in the midst of a crucial round of state elections and before the national elections, and one might revisit certain questions afresh. BJP dominant or Modi dominant? First, can the present political system be characterized as a dominant party system? And if so, can it be more accurately characterized as a BJP dominant system or a Narendra Modi dominant system? Second, how robust and sustainable does the present structure of political dominance appear from a historical perspective. Some political scientists, such as Ajad Ziegfeld, have articulated reasonable doubts over the BJP's claims to dominance. They say that unlike the Congress geographical spread under Indira Gandhi, the BJP spread still unsubstantially excludes southern and eastern India. The much wanted BJP electoral machine has been unable to dislodge a regional incumbent in state elections outside of the so called Hindi belt. At present, the party does not possess a state government in any southern state and in a large swath of eastern India, Bihar, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and Odisha. Also, unlike the Congress under Jawaharlal Nehru, the NDA has also not fulfilled the grilling test of regime longevity, a rough rule of term being 3 consecutive terms. Nevertheless, few might contest the fact that the present majority coalition led by the BJP commands more robust popular support than what the Congress enjoyed in the latter half of the 1980s under Rajiv Gandhi between 1985 and 1990. The Congress suffered dramatic reversals in its previous strongholds of Assam, Punjab, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh. In the words of the political scientists Sarney and Lloyd Rudolph, the rise of regional parties in crucial states and the consequent delegitimization of the whole centralized Congress system had reduced Congress' ability to win the super majorities that had enabled it to be dominant for parties for so long. Thus, Rudolph's and held in the 1989 election loss as both anticipated and much in line with a broader trend of party decline caused by the cancer of party deinstitutionalization deinstitutionalization launched by the Indira Gandhi and not addressed by Rajiv Gandhi. In contrast, one can gauge sharp discontinuities and ambiguities in the political picture gleaned from this round of state elections. While the BJP appears to be struggling in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and Telangana, and oddly appears to be decisively higher in Rajasthan, a state known for its revolving door and every dose of caution is warranted before extrapolating this to a national trend. In 2009, the BJP's victory had largely rested on landslides in northwest and central India, often exceeding a stupefying 50% of vote share. A recent C-voter survey asked voters of full-bound states to rate their satisfaction with the work done under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. In Rajasthan, 60% claimed to be very satisfied, with 17.4% exhibiting no satisfaction. Similarly, in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, there were high levels of satisfaction with the national government and low levels of strong dissatisfaction, 22% and 17% respectively. This is a far cry from the last years of the Rajiv Gandhi government, when the tumultuous Ram Janmabhoomi movement and the onward march of the rural-centric other backward classes had resulted in the evisceration of public support of the Congress in northern and central India. The present pace bears no similarity to the 1988 to 89 period, when the Congress coalition was reeling under allegations of corruption, declining support, and inter-party tussles. Absence of strong state leaders. Arguably, however, the over centralized nature of the BJP party machinery has weakened state units, reminiscent of the policies of the Congress of an earlier era. The BJP's reversals in several state elections in recent years stem in large part from the absence of strong, credible leaders. This weakness of state leadership is partly a result of the lack of intra-party space afforded to powerful state leaders such as Shivraj Chauhan, Vasundhara Raje, and Raman Singh. Combining through data from past surveys of the Center for the Study of Developing Societies and Access My India. The political analyst Amitabh Tiwari recently started to quantify the Modi factor in national versus state elections. In national elections, Mr. Modi leadership was claimed to be a decisive factor in the BJP vote by a large section, roughly between one quarter and one third of all respondents in the last two elections. However, in almost every state election, only around 5% expand the Modi effect as a vote choice, the only exception being Uttar Pradesh, where it was reported to be a decisive factor for 10.2% of respondents. According to the political scientist Atul Kohli, Rajiv Gandhi had harmed his own party by hoarding political capital within its own charismatic leadership and not divesting decision making power to state level leaders. Thus, Rajiv Gandhi had failed to institutionalize political support within the structures of the Congress party organization. Can a similar fate befall the BJP under the centralized reign of Narendra Modi and Amit Shah? The indefatigable BJP engine. It is harder to provide any predetermined answer to that question. This is because, as this writer had argued 2 years along with the political scientist Rahul Verma, the present BJP system of dominance can be more accurately defined as a BJP dominant system rather than a Modi dominant system. In other words, more of an ideologically free figured ethnic majoritarian coalition rather than one based on any singular charismatic personality. One can provide two pieces of supportive evidence from the present configuration of the political dynamics at large. First is the lack of a clearly ideological alternative provided by the Congress in states where it is in a straight contest with the BJP. In this round of state elections, the state Congress leadership, particularly in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, has consciously anchored itself to and thus again legitimized the ideological mainstream of Hindu nationalism. Indeed, Congress stalwart Kamal Nath declared in as many words that India is already a de facto Hindu Rashtra. This proves that the BJP has established itself not just through the remolding of institutional arrangements but also through the decisive charting out of the dominant ideological mainstream. Thus, this unchallenged Hindutva and flatted political culture has contributed in large part of the sustenance of the Modi charisma. Second, conflict is bubbling under the surface of the NDA coalition between Mandal parties and the Congress. These two political forces together comprise the primary opponent to the BJP in almost half of all national seats. Their latent and sometimes open conflict testifies to the many constraints thwarting efforts to fuse together a coherent ideological platform, particularly on thorny issues such as sharing political ownership of the caste census agenda. The intensity of these skirmishes are liable to increase with potentially a growing realization of being dragged into a zero-sum fight over a stagnant pool of the anti-BJP vote. Moreover, the opposition shows a lack of political imagination in connecting welfare promises and caste-based slogans to the larger questions of the political system, economy. Both the BJP's and Congress socio-economic agendas often appear to be an undistinguishable potpourri of freebies and handouts. Thus, though support may be frayed around the hedges, the engine of the BJP dominance chugs along, still powered by its long-stated ideological steam. Let's go to the next. Recognizing the impact of climate change on health. As India gets ready for the 28th conference of the parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, COP28, it's important to examine how climate change affects the country's health. India's inadequate health system make our population particularly vulnerable to the impact of climate risks on health. Climate change affects health directly, causing more sickness and death. In more indirect ways, it affects nutrition, reduces way walking hours, and increases climate-induced stress. The precipitating factors continue to be unrelenting. One estimate suggests that if global temperature were to rise by 2 degrees centigrade, many parts of India would become uninhabitable. Well, all nations during the Paris Agreement agreed to cap the rise in temperature at 1.5 degrees centigrade. Clearly, we have failed. The year 2023 saw the highest temperatures and high heat waves in recorded history. The situation is likely to worsen for the planet. Climate emergencies, extreme heat, cyclones, floods are expected to occur with increasing regularity. These will interfere with food security and livelihoods and sharpen health challenges. Double burden. The double burden of morbidity that India faces from communicable and non-communicable diseases will be worsened by climate change. It could facilitate the growth of vectors such as mosquitoes, sandflies, ticks, and as yet unknown ones, and change the seasonality of infection through changes in their life cycle. It could also facilitate the introduction of vectors and pathogens into areas where they did not exist before, such as mosquitoes in the Himalayan states. It also alters the virulence of pathogens, reduced availability of food and water, and the decrease in nutritional value of food increases vulnerability to diseases. Epidemics commonly occur after floods, but extended warm periods also promote the proliferation of water and foodborne pathogens and diseases. Less well recognized is the impact of climate change on non communicable diseases and mental health, both of which are poorly managed in India. Heat, physical exertion, and dehydration. A constant state for laborers could lead to kidney injuries, which are rising in India uh, due to uncontrolled diabetes. Chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases are exacerbated by increased and extended episodes of air pollution. The risk of dying from pulmonary disease increases by 1.80 to 8.2% during a heat wave, and hospitalization rates will go up by 8% for every 1% increase in temperature above 29 degrees centigrade. Depression aggravated by stress generated by change in weather conditions and post-traumatic stress disorder invariably accompany a climate emergency. These are rarely recognized in India, much less addressed. India is urbanizing at a rapid pace in an unplanned manner. Urban areas not tempered by urban greenery and open spaces and filled with asphalt roads and heat retaining buildings that physically block air circulation bear the worst ill effects of climate change due to the urban heat island effect. Urban areas are warmer than surrounding rural areas, especially at night. Climate change puts a further pressure on the weak urban primary health system, already suffering the ill effects of air pollution. Urban planning that discourages physical activity and work related and cultural stress. Mitigation efforts begin with understanding the direct and indirect pathways by which climate change impacts health and assessing the burden. Currently, the health information systems are not modified to gather this data. Since the impact is accentuated by socio-economic conditions, having systems in place for social support and health services will reduce the impact. But the benefits from upstream interventions that focus on better urban planning, green cover, water conservation, and public health interventions will be much larger, not only for health but for many determinants of health. Action at all levels. Action to control climate change needs to happen at global, regional, and local levels. Pathways of climate change and their impact will determine the appropriate areas of intervention. To achieve this, India has to recognize climate change and its impact on health as a problem that can be and needs to be addressed. Researchers who work in this area need to come up with policy options for action. National, state, and local governments have to decide to act on the policy options that are being generated by research. Only when the three streams of problematization, policy options, and political decision making come together in is meaningful change likely to happen. It will be worthwhile to examine if these necessary conditions have been satisfied before expecting a change in the status quo on climate change and its impact on health. Let's go to the next. It's about the climate change. Parochial state needs to implement labor rights uniformly and not rely on protectionism. India, Japan converge in Southeast Asia. A wake up call for APSRTC. The transport machinery is in dire need of reform and restoration. AC coaches rise at the cost of sleeper and second class. First visuals emerge of workers inside tunnel. SC calls for collaborative efforts to bring the children into the adoption pool. ED orders attachment of 752 crore assets in national hierarchies. Rahul calls PM Panauti. BJP says shameful and disgraceful remark. Ministry asks states to encourage use of Sati portal. Sati is an open learning platform available to students at no cost. At BRICS Summit, Zai calls for immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Necessary to hear the farmer before making him a villain, Justice Dulia. Chinese Premier Li is young to attend G20 virtual meet. BJP compliance to EC against Congress adds. EC notice to BJP over post against Kejriwal. Where there is Congress, there will be scams, deception, and fraud. We, as in BJP's rule, there will be progress, and country will move forward. A murder most foul and a campaign taking on a communal color. Congress make a long list of promises. Gehlot says he is candidate in all 200 seats. In Rajasthan's Nagar, fake video does an endless loop, inflaming communal fashions. Telangana parties follow a revolving door policy this time. Families hope to find light at the end of the tunnel. Wives, parents, or brothers have come from as far away as Jharkhand and Uttar Pradesh and are camped outside the site, waiting with bated breath to see their loved ones step out to freedom. TV channels asked to be sensitive on Uttarakashi issue. WHO may integrate COVID-19 jabs with routine vaccination. Lok Sabha privileges panel summons Danish Ali Biduri. Rape survivor killed by accused brother in Uttar Pradesh. There was a dispute between two parties and of the same community due to an old rivalry and a litigation in which people of one party killed a 20-year-old girl. Simultaneous elections will help nation, says Kovind. UGC is set to constitute expert committee to update syllabi of NET. Joint exercise of Indian US forces begin in Meghalaya. STF to probe irregularities in halal certification in UP. Vidura spotting words. Ex-US non-profit body for claiming site in rife with anti-Semitism. Philippines announces the start of joint patrols with US forces. North Korea claims to have put a spy satellite into orbit in its third bid. As South Africa decides fate for embassy, Israel recalls ambassador. Israel expands extra attacks in North Gaza, battles militants near refugee camp. Some 1.7 million Palestinians, about 3/4 of Gaza's population, have fled their homes since the war began. More than 12,700 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza, according to Health Ministry in the West Bank. Another 4,000 are missing. 2 premature babies died before Gaza evacuation. Pakistan court deems government's jail trial of Imran Khan illegal. War raising well past warming limit. UN says head of talks. Inflation still remains a key to risk to growth, cautions Finance Minister. Ministry also flags external financial flows that could affect the rupee's value and the balance of payments situation. Notes in its monthly economic review that inflationary pressures have moderated and will benefit from the slide in global oil price. IREDA raises 643 crore from anchor investors. Unify Capital gets SEBI in order to start mutual fund business. More so PEC to plus supply cuts likely next year as oil prices plunge. India's economy to grow 7% in Q2 but likely to slow down in H2. RL to invest 20,000 crore in West Bengal over 3 years. Toyota to invest 3,300 crore to fuel its next round of growth in India. The entire country is watching you, Modi consults Indian team. 2023 World Cup sets a tournament record of 1.25 million spectators. BWF nomination for Satvik Sairaj and Chirag Shetty. Qatar scores thrice as India fails to put up an adequate challenge. Wenger dedicates PIPA Academy to Indian youngsters. Anahat and Tanvi advance. Sarinder Paul Abai in semi-finals. ICC introduces a slew of changes after board meeting. Advani wins the world title for the 26th time. Punjab fights Lahore to pull off a victory over Maharashtra. Divya places 7th in air pistol final. Between hope and hubris, innocence, glumness, despair, gratitude. Armilan is brand ambassador of BMM. Mariswaran Saktivel living the dream of for two. One of the main reasons for me getting into the sport is the fact that my dad was a hockey player. He continued playing until the district level but was unable to continue beyond that point as he had to start working to support the family. My biggest aim is to be the part of the Indian Olympic team, and the first step of that is these senior nationals. Great decision to blow ball first. The wicket got better as the game went on. Right, the way Mitch took the game and set the tone, that was the energy we wanted. Coal is not easy to exclude from a sustainable development. Switching to renewable energy will generate investments and jobs, but in practice, the electricity grid must meet the peak demand at all times. The efficient operation of thermal power plants is critical for India. They ensure peak and off-peak demands are met continuously at affordable cost. Periodicity of eclipses. Text and context. Funds for inland waterways projects were granted to Northeast. The military had aid announced by Germany for Ukraine. The wild animals dead in Odisha in the last 5 years. 2008, 17, wow, 4 tigers. Very bad. The decrease in FDI equity inflows during April September. Refugees in Chad to lose food aid core lack of funding 1.4 million refugees. The OECD report on climate finance. How much of the climate finance provided by developed countries is comprised of loans? What does the new and additional finance clause in the United Nations Framework Convention on climate change mean? What do rich and developing economies want to keep the definition of climate finance vague? What is the matter? A short treatise on Indian materialism. Materialism is neither new nor mystical. It has been around as a system of thought since the earliest records of human history. Simply put, it maintains that the origin of everything that really exists in is matter. On November 22, 1963, US President John F. Kennedy was assassinated, which on the tragic event that occurred exactly 60 years ago. This is the last page, guys. If it is just read this page, little important for the point of the current events and also for the science and IT and science. Is I hope you guys have enjoyed the newspaper already, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you like the video, please share with your friends. It may be useful for somebody to utilize the opportunities. Let's read in the editorial. Let's read you. Let's see you in the upcoming videos, guys. So, and bye bye. Take care. Have a great day.